Okay, so the first night is never usually that bad in any of the games, so I'll play through.
Five Nights at Freddy's as a franchise is such a bizarre beast to tackle. Scott Cawthon, the series creator, has never really had a period where he's actually consistently putting out good stuff. The games are a mess, the merchandise is a mess, his politics are a mess.
Swing Trump, what do you think is on the news today? Donald Trump talking trash about us?
And I mean, how can they not be? In the 20 years leading up to the release of Five Nights at Freddy's, Scott Cawthon was working on Christian fan games made in the most fuck-ass game development engine I've ever seen in my life. He wasn't making any money from this. He modeled Foxy on a laptop in his car. Could you imagine, man? He gets home at the end of that long-ass road trip. He opens his fridge. It's just like a bowl of ice soup, a single slice of Little Caesars pizza. He's so fascinating to me because seemingly he's completely incompetent at everything that you need to know how to do to make a game, and yet he made one of the most popular horror games of all time. And I mean that wholeheartedly. The Scott Cawthon style is such a unique look because he uses such antiquated methods, because he doesn't follow typical design convention. Chipper & Sons especially has a very weird vibe. It's off-putting, but it's also like small-town nostalgia vibes. This game should have been made in 2002, but somehow Scott released it in 2013, the same year that GTA 5 first released. Okay, I know that game cost $100 million to make, but just so you have some perspective of what the general audience had access to at that time. Scott, you can't release this in a post-Gangnam Style world. You should have known better. Scott released the first 4 FNAF games within a little over a year of each other. And he wasn't obligated to do that or anything. I mean, most of the time he released the games before his promised release date just because he had them finished. Did he just have like prime Stephen King cocaine? Something does not add up there. In contrast, the FNAF movie took 9 years and 3 studios to get made. The first FNAF movie, written by Scott Cawthon, Seth Cuddeback, and Emmett Tammy, came out long after the game's heyday. But as a longtime fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, I had an absolute blast with this movie. It's not perfect, but the work they put into making the animatronics real, practical, and faithful is really impressive. The movie isn't great by any means, but the story works well enough and Mike is a compelling enough protagonist to make you root for him. That is until Five Nights at Freddy's 2. The FNAF 2 movie is bad from any side of the aisle. General audiences didn't get it, fans hated it, critics hated it, but you're all wrong. This is the funniest movie ever made. From the first scene of the movie, I knew Scott had his nasty little fingers up inside this movie like Ennard inside of Michael Afton. Oh, did you not get that FNAF joke? Well, I'm talking about... The vibes were just off. It was probably the dialogue. Scott doesn't really do dialogue that's words what like people make. You get a little taste of it in FNAF 1, like with Mike's parents, the way that they talk.
How about some burger with that ketchup?
Everything's better smelling ketchup.
But I kind of thought that was intentional to make it clear that Mike's memory of his brother's kidnapping didn't necessarily reflect reality. But oh no. If you thought the dialogue was stilted in the first movie...
She's got crazy eyes, Mike.
She's not crazy.
People are obsessed with that old pizzeria. Yeah, I heard they had your aunt committed, by the way. Are you sure your aunt just made those stories up out of the blue?
I'm not gonna lie. For the first half of the movie, I was pretty miserable. I was sitting there in the theater picking apart scenes because I could fully understand what Scott's trying to do and how he's failing to do it and how you could just make tiny little tweaks that would completely fix it. Now, does that make me a genius for pointing that out? Yes. The movie starts with a little girl, Charlotte, sitting alone at a previously unseen iteration of Freddy Fazbear's. She sees a boy being taken to the back by a man in a yellow rabbit suit, who we know from the previous movie is the serial killer William Afton. Now, Charlotte does the right, rational thing. She goes to find an adult to let them know that something horrible has happened, but one by one, they all brush her off and tell her to find help elsewhere. It's so bizarre. It almost feels like the parents are being intentionally cruel, kind of like you'd see in a Stephen King story where the community is as much a villain as the actual monsters. But it doesn't go far enough if that's their intent. There's a little girl screaming because somebody got kidnapped in front of her, and they're all treating it like somebody took her toy or something.
Excuse me, there's a boy who needs help.
Go tell your parents.
Please, there's something wrong.
Go tell your parents.
There's somebody who needs help.
Not right now.
Please.
Not right now.
There's a little boy who needs help. Please help me.
You fucking bitch. And this really does set the stage for the entire movie. There's a teacher that's played by Wayne Knight whose sole goal seems to be to convince Abby that FNAF is gay.
My name is Edward. I made the mimic. It was difficult to put the pieces together.
At the start of this movie, it's revealed that Abby hasn't been able to visit any of her animatronic friends from FNAF 1 because Mike said he needs to quote-unquote fix them. Eventually, she decides to sneak out one night to go fix the robots herself, only to find they've gone missing. She uses this device called the Fast Talker to communicate with somebody who she just kind of assumes to be Chica. She tries to enter the robotics competition against her teacher's wishes with a little Chica robot she'd made herself, and he just completely destroys her with facts and logic and destruction. Also, I do love Wayne Knight, and I love his performance in this movie. He's so mean to her for literally no fucking reason.
Is this a joke, Miss Schmidt? Putting someone in a suit and passing it off as your own work? You're an embarrassment to our class and to our school, Miss Schmidt. Now take your freak show friend and get out of my science fair.
And can I just say how absolutely unfair it is that he's the one that gets his head squished by Toy Chica? It should have been me.
What I want is to see what's going on inside of your head.
Oh yeah, you can tell Scott loved that line, by the way, because it's in the movie 3 separate times.
I just want to see what's going on inside of his head.
You know, Vanessa, I've always wondered, what exactly goes on inside of your head?
Anyways, this new toy Chica and every other animatronic in that particular location are actually being controlled by the ghost of Charlotte, who's out for revenge after being killed by William Afton while trying to save that boy from earlier. She then manipulates Abby into freeing them from the pizzeria so she can kill all parents.
You did it, Abby. We are free.
Huh?
Very based, by the way. Now we can all live like it's Jimmy Neutron movie. I think the moment I checked out was when Toy Chica and Abby go up on stage to accept the award for the robotics competition, mere moments after Toy Chica just murdered her teacher, by the way. And the words security breach flash on screen, and Charlotte sentences Mike to play Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I'm not kidding. They have a scene where he goes through the mechanics of the game one by one and says, well, that's ridiculous.
How is there not a door? There's no way that'll work. That worked.
The 1-2 punch of having a title drop for a game that literally has no connection to the lore of the movies, and Micah twisting off Balloon Boy's head like a praying mantis broke something in my brain, and I had a big smile on my face for the rest of the movie. I don't know if I've just fried my brain from years of watching Andrew John 100, but something in my brain cracked and I just started having the time of my life. Mango gets thrown at Toy Freddy like a brick through a window, and he brushes it off like it's nothing. Also, I was watching through the movie sped up while editing this. I just thought this was really good. Sometime towards the end, Charlotte turns on Abby and is about to kill all of the main characters using the toy animatronics. Oh, and Michael Afton's here. I haven't mentioned him yet because he's literally only in one other scene in the movie. He's the son of William Afton, serial killer, and he also helped Charlotte escape the pizzeria. That's all you really need to know. Oh, and he's Vanessa's brother. Anyways, all the OG animatronics show up, rip the toy animatronics limb from limb, and then fucking die. Ugh, nothing prepares you for when Freddy rips his plastic counterpart in half and callously throws him aside. Then the movie just kind of ends. No, I mean literally, right after this, Mike gets all pissy that Vanessa didn't tell him that Michael Afton exists, and then she gets possessed by Charlotte, and it just cuts to credits. And so that finishes the second FNAF movie. I have thoughts on it. Now, is there an amount of me that wanted to see a follow-up to FNAF 1 that's actually good, that focuses on Abby, Michael, Garrett, and Vanessa, the emotional core of the first movie? Yeah, I really do. More than you probably expect. But it's too late. Scotty already screwed the pooch on this one, but for my money, in a good way. It feels like Scott Cawthon in all the best ways. It's strange, it's clunky, but it feels very Scott. There's absolutely a beauty to incompetence, especially if it leads to a funny outcome. Have you ever watched Greedy Greg? It's technically incompetent, it's strange, but it's kind of peem. To be honest with you, I never thought I'd...
Can you please move your car? I can't get out of the driveway.
You know, I will when I'm done with this.
Yeah, I get that. But I need to pick up Foxy from the bowling alley.
Well, just take my key.
Yeah, no, I'm
downstairs. You can.
It would just be easier if you came and did it.
Why do I have to be the one that?
Well, you're not.
That's what I'm doing.
He's gonna be waiting as long as I'm sitting here arguing
with you.
He's gonna be waiting.
Well, then just go.
Because he's gonna be waiting on you. Yeah, so I'm going.
Go.
I'm going.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
Never asking you for anything again, by the way. Never again.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
I'm going. Bye.